guys, it's Joshua Reviews. Guys, we're going to be reviewing a movie that I reviewed back in like 2018, but then I just deleted it. Dude, okay, if you guys don't remember, I reviewed a lot of movies back in the day, but I deleted them because a lot of them were just cringe, and on top of that, for some odd reason, I don't know if you guys have stuck with this channel long enough, but I used to do this weird, awkward thing where I'd spit in front of the camera in like every one of my reviews, and I thought it was funny. A lot of people had a problem with that, and it wasn't until I started to fully develop that I realized that was a mistake. One of my reviews, the movie we're reviewing today, Tales of Halloween, I did that a lot. So I think it's time we re-review this movie, because it's very unlikely that you guys probably even saw that review since it was so long ago, and all my older reviews are private. So, Tales of Halloween. Sorry for the long intro. Anyways, Tales of Halloween. This movie is another horror anthology. Can you believe it? Oh my god. It's another horror anthology. Who would have guessed? Tales of Halloween? Not me. But this movie, I haven't seen it in God knows how long. But yeah, I thought I'd rewatch it. And I can say this. It was an interesting movie. It's an interesting movie to watch. So let's just get straight into the shorts or segments, because there's a lot of them. There's 10 of them. I had to write it all down. So, the first segment, Sweet Tooth. This one is probably my favorite segment, next to, well, actually, I'll get there. So, this horror anthology is like Trick or Treat, which I just reviewed, which I really love. I love Trick or Treat, but this movie has a lot of segments. I forget if it's all from the same director or if it's different directors, but yeah, it's different directors. But unlike the VHS movies where it's like, different directors like shoot each segment, but they're kind of like, they're pretty different from each other. Like all the segments in this film, like Trick or Treat, connect to each other. And I really love it when horror anthology movies do that. That's really interesting and really cool. So we're going to talk about the first segment, which is Sweet Tooth. It's about a kid who goes trick-or-treating, and he's being babysat by this dude, or this girl and her boyfriend, and they tell him a story about this guy, or this kid, who basically went trick-or-treating, the parents ate all the candy, and then he killed the parents, and then now he kills people unless they offer him candy. This was probably like the most straightforward segment, I would say. Like, it's pretty straightforward, and it really works for me. Like, I really dug the way like the story was told to the kid and the way it kind of ends. This movie is kind of a horror comedy a little bit. There's like sprinkles of comedic elements here and there. Some of them work, some of them don't. I'll get into that later in some other segments, but this one really worked for me. Now this one plays it straight for the most part. There's not really a lot of jokes in here and there. There's like a joke at the end, but I really like the way the whole thing is set up. This isn't a film where you like get attached to the characters, but I really like the kid that was in this film. He did a good job. Everyone did a good job in this segment, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this one an A. I'm gonna be, breezing through the segment, so bear with me. The Night Billy Raised Hell. This one is literally Satan's Little Helper. If you guys have seen that movie or even saw my review last year for Satan's Little Helper, it's basically this kid is dressed up as Satan and then presumably meets Satan, like the real Satan, but we never really know for sure if it is. And they just raise hell on the town on Halloween. That's pretty much this segment. And this one was definitely the funniest. I watched this movie with a buddy of mine on a party, or like a group chat, and we laughed a bunch during this segment. This one was a lot of fun. This one was super funny. I don't really know if I understand the ending, because I don't think that's how police officers are supposed to react in that situation, but I guess it's this one has a lot of comedy, and it really works for me. The kid is funny. The guy who plays Satan is really funny. So this one's an A. This one's an A for me too. Trick was interesting. That was an interesting one. I don't know if I necessarily liked it. It was interesting the way it was presented. Basically, just these four dudes, these four people are hanging out at like a Halloween party on Halloween, and then they're gonna knock at the door, and this kid shows up and says trick, and then just starts killing them. Like a bunch of random ass kids just start killing these people. I didn't know where it was going, and if you're just kind of watching this, you might be like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck are these kids doing? But then it's revealed what's actually going on. I didn't really like the reveal that much. And I don't know why. I thought this movie was kind of mean, or this segment was kind of mean-spirited. Some of the segments in this movie are mean-spirited, and I do not like mean-spirited movies. This is why one of the reasons I refuse to watch Wrong Turn 5, because I know what happens in that movie. But that being said, I think there is enough good in this segment that I was like, okay, I want to know where it goes. And the twist was interesting. Wasn't my favorite thing, but it was interesting. So I'm gonna give it a C+. Not great. A lot of these segments are really short. Like, they are really short. I'd probably say the shortest is probably like 5 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes. I think the longest one is like maybe 15 minutes, maybe not even that. I don't know. But anyways, which one? The Weak and the Wicked. That one. That one. So this one I like to call the Descendants segment, because this one has to do with Disney star actors that are like, I don't know if it's implied it's some sort of apocalyptic world or wasteland, but I guess there's like different groups. It's kind of like Mad Max, where there's different kids who are like celebrate Halloween in different ways. This is the only one that I think is really disjointed from all the other segments. I really don't know what the fuck is going on in this one. It's like some, rock band punk kids are like bullying this kid, and I guess they killed his family when he was young, and he's trying to get revenge. And most of the segment is just this kid is just running from these bullies or whatever, this gang, on a bike at a park. Yeah, I didn't get it. The end was pretty cool, and the effects were pretty dope, so that's noteworthy. I was interested, but it was just kind of random, so I want to give this one a C+ as well. What was the next one? Grim Grinning Ghost. This one was definitely the weakest, because I don't know what the fuck was happening. So this one's about a girl who just goes home from a Halloween party, is followed by a ghost, and then literally the ghost shows up at the end. That's it. There's no character, nothing. The only thing it really does offer is it's shot well. There's a creepy moment here and there with the ghost, and on top of that, the lady from Insidious is, and I forget her name. I'm bad at names, so forgive me. But it's the the face of Insidious. It's the blonde hair girl. So excuse me. I don't know if you heard that. This movie's this segment's a D+. Whatever. I don't know what was going on in it. Ding Dong. It's a segment. I guess it's like supposed to be like a play on Hansel and Gretel. It's like this girl wants to cook a kid or something, but her husband is dressed as like Gretel or something, and she's like a witch. She's like a sexy witch, and she just wants to steal a kid every time they knock at the door, and the guy just basically tries to find a way to not let the kids die. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I liked it. That's about it. I'm going to give it a B-. This Means War was a lot of fun. This one was a lot of fun. I don't know why this one was a lot of fun. It probably shouldn't have been fun, but this one was fun. One thing I will say about this movie in general, fuck, it knows how to get Halloween right. I mean, everything is dripping with Halloween atmosphere. This is the movie All Hallows Eve Part 2, which it could have been, because that movie had segments that really were dripping with Halloween atmosphere, and then you have a segment that just doesn't. One of the things I like about this movie and Trick or Treat is the fact that a lot of the segments have to do with Halloween. I hate it when a movie is marketed as like a Halloween film and it has nothing to do with Halloween. Especially like movies like I'll get to, like Project Theory. I'll get to that when I get to it, but I think that's the next review. Yeah. Or no, that's I'll get to it when I get to it. But yeah, I don't like it when an anthology movie like markets itself as this and then it just has nothing to do with holiday. So, but This Means War is basically about these two dudes. This new neighbor is across the street and he's like a punk rock star or whatever. And he's like, he's more like the party-ish, you know, extreme Halloween enthusiast, while the other guy's like, you know, he's the nice neighbor. He's, you know, he's the, you know, I forgot his name, but it's like he's like the nice neighbor, and he always puts up Halloween decorations. He's always the best of the year, and then they just get into a comedic warfare between each other, you know. So I really liked it. It was funny, and the payoff was pretty good. So I'm gonna give this one an A-. Friday the 31st is probably my favorite segment in this film, next to Sweet Tooth, because this one is the fucking funniest. This one is so fucking funny. I'm not going to spoil anything that happens in this film. All I'm going to say is, trick or tweet. That fucking thing was so funny. The way it's executed, the little homages to like Evil Dead and Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and E.T., like the references in this one, it plays out like a slasher. That's all I'm going to say. It plays out like a slasher, and it takes a fucking funny twist. That's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to spoil it. It is so funny. So I'm going to give this one an A+. Just check out the segment. It is so funny. Watch this movie, because I do like this movie, but I'll get to that. So, ninth short is The Ransom of Rusty Rex. Kind of a weird segment. It's about these two dudes are trying to kidnap a kid, and then he's like trick or treat. I thought it was the kid from The Night Billy Raised Hell. I thought it was the demon kid from that, but they accidentally kidnap a demon kid or like some sort of troll or whatever, and the whole segment is just them trying to get rid of him, and it's a comedic segment that I thought was pretty funny. It doesn't always work. I think there's some jokes here and there that don't really work, and I mean the characters are whatever, but it was a funny segment, so I'm gonna give it a B+. And the last segment is Bad Seed, which is the one I forgot the most about next to Grim Grin and Ghost, but I enjoyed it. It was a good segment. About this, it's basically Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, but with a pumpkin. I think you can guess where that goes. And yeah, I thought the way they wrapped around all the other segments was neat. The way it was executed was neat. The effects looked pretty good for whatever budget this movie had. Because I don't think this went to theaters. I think this was like a straight to VOD or got like a small theatrical release or whatever. This was before Shudder, so I mean, this definitely would have premiered on Shudder if Shudder existed back in like 2015, or maybe it did. I don't fucking know. But I'm gonna give this one a B. It was fun. It was entertaining. Overall, this movie is literally just that. It is fun and entertaining. It has its flaws. Some of the segments go way by a little too fast. I'm not a big fan of like maybe one or two segments, even though I, you know, maybe graded one or two higher. Some of them I'm not, But the movie is fast-paced. All the segments have to do with Halloween. There's no bullshit. It feels consistent besides maybe one or two segments. Like I said, The Week in the Wicked was kind of a weird one. I don't really get what the connection was to all the other ones, but whatever. But this movie's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and I think if you guys are willing to put up with like maybe one or two segments that may or may not be your thing, this movie is a great Halloween watch, and I'm going to start watching it more and more because I've only seen this film twice, which was back when I originally reviewed it and now. So I'm going to give it a B+. I enjoyed it. So go watch it. I'm going to go watch another horror anthology that's not as good. You'll see what that is.